Good evening, everyone. Welcome to GardenStateWeather.com and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith with the evening edition of Monday's video forecast discussion for the 16th of May, 2016. A beautiful, warm, and windy day across the region today, where temperatures this afternoon still got into the 60s in a large portion of the region, and that was across the coastlines here of New Jersey as well. A little bit cooler on eastern Long Island, but still a gorgeous day. Just have dissipating cirrus and some cumulus clouds across the forecast region this morning. Out to our west and southwest, thickening mid and upper level clouds associated with our next weather maker, which is coming in for tomorrow, especially later tomorrow and into Wednesday morning. Right now, there's nothing really going on the radar. You have to move to the southwest of our forecast zone, where a frontal boundary is beginning to develop and clouds increasing, and this moisture advection will be moving in our direction by tomorrow during the afternoon. Take you back from last night, where we had some graupels, some small pea-sized hail as a shortwave max came through the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area and produced some widely scattered showers with basically strong thermal gradient between the surface and the upper levels, and dew points being so low. We talked about this being an inverted V signature on the thermal soundings and the vertical profiles. That has since moved off the coast now, and we're dealing with more of this west to east flow across the region. Here's our next disturbance here up towards the Great Lakes, and a warm front developing to the southwest of this, moving into our region for tomorrow with more clouds increasing and, yes, more rain. And on the aviational weather deck for tonight, we still have some very strong gust winds into the 20s and 30s across the region. They're dissipating and well, I shouldn't say dissipating, they're gradually diminishing. And we have an increase in lowering clouds, mainly very late tonight. Southwest winds diminishing to less than 10 knots overnight tonight as the sun goes down and the pressure gradient begins to relax. On Tuesday, VFR ceilings start the day lowering to MVFR, especially from Philadelphia areas south and east about midday on. And then IFR ceilings possible by late afternoon in those regions. Some rain expected to overspread the region, with the most widespread areas, especially from Philadelphia on south and east. MVFR visibilities are possible. Southwesterly winds overall less than 10 knots. They may become variable during the afternoon. Tomorrow night through Wednesday, MVFR at times with periods of rain. Thursday through Friday night, VFR conditions expected. Right now outside of Newark, the wind is still howling in there. We've got basically VFR conditions in place, 69 degrees. So it did warm up this afternoon as forecasted. Dew point 27, humidity 21%. That's very bone dry air. The wind is northwest at 21, howling in, gusting at 28. And, well, we've got just a few clouds around the region this evening, scattered to broken clouds redeveloping across the region overnight. Light rain getting in here later tomorrow afternoon. Right now, also at Philadelphia, we have currently 66 degrees. Not bad. It's a little bit cool, but not too bad. Dew point 29, humidity 25%. It's the wind that makes everything feel gusty and cold. It's 270, which is west at 23, gust to 29 miles an hour. A few clouds at 8,000 and a few at 25,000. That's the next weather system moving in, jet stream clouds there. And we're going to have scattered to broken clouds around the region later tonight and early tomorrow morning. And everything lowers to overcast, and then light rain develops again during tomorrow afternoon. Watches, warnings, and advisories. We have small craft advisories until 8 o'clock this evening for the New Jersey coastal waters through Ocean County. Then we have South Shore and East Ends of Long Island gale warnings anticipated through 8 p.m. tonight, and then dropping off the North Shore and South Shore of Long Island until 8 o'clock this evening. Everything begins to calm down. Once again, for you allergy sufferers out there, oak, birch, and maple are the tree pollen that's predominantly pollinating again, broadcasting with a strong westerly and northwesterly winds today, making the pollen counts just astronomical at 9.9. They'll continue to be on the moderate to high side again during Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, we'll start out tonight with the HRR, move into the NAM 4 kilometer, 12 kilometer, and then the global model as we head up in time here. Basically dry and clear conditions overnight tonight. There will be some high and mid-level clouds spilling in towards the morning hours to our south and west. And the HRR is indicating some very light rain here across, sneaking across the area from southeastern Pennsylvania into the coastal areas of central and southern New Jersey, particularly central New Jersey. But most of this will not be reaching the ground. This is just some isentropic lift and some of what the modeling is showing that is happening here. But as we move on into the 4-kilometer NAM model, we find that most of the precipitation won't be reaching the ground yet, but there are pockets of moderate to heavy rain to the north of the warm front here and also to the south of the warm front. And this front will be sleeking along with an area of low pressure along it. And so periods of rain will be evident across the forecast region during Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening. Nothing really spectacular, a quarter of an inch, a half inch at most in most locations as one wave moves off the Delmarva here by late tomorrow night, early tomorrow morning. And we get a secondary wave that's developing across the region as the front begins to sink further to the south. And this wave of low pressure will introduce a little bit more rain showers around the region again from, let's say, central New York City area, northeastern New Jersey, down through central and western Pennsylvania, central and western New Jersey, down through southern New Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania on Wednesday morning. And then that period of rain begins to drop south and everything begins to dry out a little bit as high pressure begins to build in from the Great Lakes all the way through the northern mid-Atlantic region. This would take us into Wednesday night and Thursday. That's where skies begin to clear out as this disturbance begins to lift and or drift further to the south and east. The high pressure is in control. If we looked at the mesoscale model or the NAM 12-kilometer model through Thursday morning or after midnight on Wednesday night, all precipitation is just over the Delmarva area and then heading south and east with this wave of low pressure as it moves off the mid-Atlantic coast states. And then we're left with some spotty, light, isolated shower activity on Thursday night and Friday with an upper level disturbance, but this doesn't look like it's going to really pan out either. By the time we get to Thursday, there's just high pressure over the forecast region. So dry conditions, warm conditions too. We get above 70 degrees on Thursday and Friday. So that's good news. And then here comes the next weather maker for Thursday night and Friday again. Another area of low pressure moving up towards the Great Lakes. This could be a little bit further south than indicated according to some of the other model guidance. This drags a warm front lifting through the region with the isolated to scattered showers about, and the cold front begins to draw itself closer on Saturday. This is from the 12Z run. Now, the 18Z run is not complete yet as of this broadcast, but this could be a little bit further east on Saturday, providing us with dry conditions and near seasonal temperatures for the area. And then by the time we get into Sunday, another area of low pressure and a frontal boundary will be approaching, and this will bring us the next chance of precipitation for the early portion of next week. 250 millibar Google Earth mapping here shows us our convoluted polar jet stream here. It's a very active one, as you can see by the jet stream winds here in the pinks and the lighter pink shades here. We still have a negative EPO, positive PDO signature here over the western United States, a negative NAO. Look at this with dual signatures of high pressure against south, west, and northeast of southeastern Greenland. This is providing for blocking signatures here south of that. And so as a result of that, we've got this upper level low, okay, south of Hudson's Bay area. This is not part of the polar vortex. The polar vortex is back up here, okay? But it is a portion of a signature which remains in place due to all the blocking signatures that are going on here in the northeastern Atlantic and also over south and west of Greenland. In the Pacific, we still have a negative EPO and a positive PDO, and that means the polar jet stream dominates. And with that, the polar jet stream means business because it's going to be series after series of cold fronts underlying underneath this block. It's not going to allow the ridge height access to begin to build. We normally see higher height rises here with a weakening El Nino and a forthcoming La Nina south of the southeastern United States coast through the Bahamas and the Atlantic here. And we're not seeing that just yet. So it's going to be a very active and volatile pattern continuing for the rest of this month into the early part of June. At 10 millibars up in space, this is where we can really look at the stratosphere. Here is our polar vortex here. Now in the summer months, it's spinning in the opposite direction. We see the wind flow here. But in the upper levels, it's really out of, this direction. But what's happening here is that we have all of this cutoff energy over south of Lake Huron and into northwestern United States. So this is really telling us a couple of things here. First of all, that's at 10 millibars. If we get into the mid-levels of the stratosphere, and pardon the Google Earth here for doing this, we can see the polar vortex is located west of the pole now, of the Arctic Circle here, which is the center right here. And we still have this blocking signature here south of Hudson's Bay. So we've got a very, very active pattern here in place. And most of this is polar energy, the leftover residuals of what was, and the normal translation of the polar vortex, and also the translation of what was El Nino going into La Nina. Temperature forecast going forward, we're in the 60s today with a westerly flow. On Tuesday, we're going to continue to be in the low to the mid 60s across the region. Onshore flow developing along the coastlines. Temperatures there struggling to get to around 60. On Wednesday, with more rain again, temperatures tempered on a southeast flow, a northwest flow to the west here as the front moves through and sinks south across the Philadelphia metropolitan area, central and southern New Jersey. Temperatures still in the mid and upper 60s over most of the region. By the time we get to Thursday, not looking too bad. Temperatures responding nicely in the upper 60s across the area, closer to 70 in a few of the urban areas like Philadelphia. And also interior Connecticut could experience temperatures around 69, 70 degrees. Then on Friday, temperatures really begin to moderate. They get back to near normal. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s under a southwest flow. On Saturday, again, temperatures are going to be in the low to the mid 70s with a light onshore flow. Only cool spots right along the immediate barrier islands of New Jersey, the South Shore and east ends of Long Island as well. So look at it this way. A little bit of rain during the middle of the week, well, we need it, and nobody is in a drought situation here in New Jersey at this point, and that's good news. And most of the weekend should be fairly nice, and temperatures warming up back to normal levels by the later part of the week. But still, like I told you, we're not out of this pattern just yet. For everything live, it's GardenStateWeather.com, GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. I'm Forecast Robert Smith. You have a great Monday evening. We'll be back in video form bright and early on our normal schedule Tuesday morning.